Peace and love. This is Brother Faheem, and you are now tuned in to the Lead with Logic podcast. Hey, guess what? You know the vibes. When you think of love. Peace to everybody that's watching. Peace to everybody that's watching this back. Listen, I am your most gracious and humble host, Brother Faheem, and I am the host of the most heralded, the dopest, the Lead with Logic podcast. Welcome. Man, so much going on in the world. Man, the world moves at such a fast pace. I try to keep my boots laced so that I can always stay in this race. I'm trying to win the race, actually. I'm trying to win this race. Man, so much going on. Woo. It's a big day today, y'all. It's a big day for the Black community. It's a big day for the American community. Why is it a big day? Well, today was the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, right? Yeah, we celebrate his birthday. I want to say every third Monday in January. Yeah. So this happens to be that Monday. And not only were we celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, we were also celebrating the the inauguration of our newly minted president, Donald J. Trump. Peace, whoever that is. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. Hey, come on in. Welcome. Hey, tap in, bring a friend. Listen, I'm gonna have to put it up there, man. Look, Lead with Logic is not just a brand, a saying, and a podcast. Look, I should say, excuse me, Lead with Logic is not just a podcast, it's a brand and a saying. If you go to leadwithlogic7.com, again, that's leadwithlogic7.com, you can get nice hoodies like this. Please, we got hoodies like this. We got hats like this. Boom. And we have tees with the same logo on it. Lead with Logic, right? Lead with Logic, the number 7. Look, it's also a saying. It's an acronym, right? Remember Tupac had the acronym Thug Life. The hate you give little infants fucks everybody. That's what Thug Life stood for. He was saying something. Acronyms get jobs done. Listen, Lead with Logic is no different. Lead with Logic stands for letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. Not the God that they tell you that exists behind the skies. I'm talking at the God that you see when you look in the mirror between your eyes, right? Yeah, that's the God we talking about. So, man, woo. But yeah, I want y'all to patronize, shop with the brother man before you go to the other man. Yes, sir. But yeah, so much going on, man. So much going on. I wanted to talk about a few things, get a good plethora of things that we can deal with, that we can jump into today. Number one, we already talked about the inauguration of Dr. Martin Luther King, but man, something else happened, right? Two more things that are very, very significant happened in American culture. They banned after 10 years, right? Because they had died Red Dot 3 about 10, well, back in 1993, I want to say. We're gonna get into it. It's been banned from using on our face for quite a while. Now they finally banned it from ingesting it, from digesting it, right? Red Dye 3. Awesome, amazing. We're going to see a little bit of what the Republicans had to say when they were banning this. Also, trans women or men who identified as women, they instituted or began to institute where they could not compete in sports with natural women, right? People who were born women. So we're gonna get into a little bit of that. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you we're gonna give you a couple articles that you guys can read for yourself, some videos that you guys can look over, and then we're gonna have a little discussion about it. Now, what I'm gonna do is it is at this point in time that I am going to invite some more good people. Man, you got to invite people, let them know what you're doing. Whoever that army of one is, hey, I salute you. Best believe that. Please come to the comments, say what's up. Hey, send this to a friend. Send this to 2 or 3 friends, 2 or 3 or 10 friends. Let's get some people in here. I'm going to invite, or at least share the link, right? We're going to share the link so that people now can come on in. Hopefully, you guys are having a most beautiful and productive and peaceful start of your week. Hopefully, it's not too cold wherever you are. It's cold where I am. It's very cold, very, very cold. But that's okay though. That's okay, man. You can snuggle up with some hot chocolate, right? Almond milk, of course, or oat milk. Man, put your feet into the hot fireplace and let your mind drift off into space. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna pay some look listen to me. We're gonna pay some bills. No, we gonna pay no bills. We're gonna invite some people. We're gonna invite some people. Man, if you guys didn't get a chance, please check out that last bill. I was able to build with master teacher, Pan-Africanist extraordinaire, the one and only Professor Baba Small. I call him Baba Small, but it's Professor James Small. Man, look James Small up online. You'll see he does great interviews. He gives great lectures. Man, he's with Sarnetta. He's with I Never Knew TV. Man, he was on Rock Newman. You know, he's just man. He's awesome. He's everywhere. So that's my last live. Check that out. And yeah, I think y'all will enjoy it. Like I say, I'm just getting the people, letting the people know to come through. Yeah, letting the people know to come through. Grab a friend and tune in. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. So much drama in the world. So much drama, so much drama. We won't be that much longer for you guys that are watching. Y'all can fast forward through this part if you would like. You're like, man, what is he talking about? We don't want to see him. Email people, get people in the place to be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoever that is, come on in. Come on in. We are just doing a little housekeeping. I'm trying to get the good people in. Come on in. Let me know what's going on, man. Tap in with me. Tap in with me. Tap into the comments. Tap into the comments. Let me know that you understand. Hey. Get you a nice little music, something smooth, and kick right on back. You dig? Yeah, kick right on back. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. Whoever that is, what's going on? Speak to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. How's your day been? How'd your day go? We're gonna get started right here in a second. How things going? Hopefully things are moving and grooving for you. Free. What's going on? Free. Yes, sir. Hey man, I'm bringing the people in right now. Free. What's happening with you, big dog? Tell the people. Hey, you heard what Candyman said. Tell them. Go tell them, bro. Tell them. Hey, lead is on, man. Lead is on. Lead is kicking it. Go tell them on X. Lead is on. Y'all come on in, man, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself for me. I'm getting the people. I am notifying the people right now. You dig? And I'm gonna get started. I think you're gonna dig today, free. What up, big dog? Yeah, man. Got a lot of good stuff going on, free. The people going crazy, right? The people are going crazy. A little bit of mandates, a little bit of, you know, it's a little bit of everything, man. I didn't realize that this whole yes, I did, but I didn't realize that people were going off over Nelly and what's his name? Toxic Trump. I didn't realize that people were upset with Nelly and Snoop Dogg for performing at the inauguration. But then again, they got pissed at Chrisette Michelle. You remember that? They were upset with Chrisette Michelle, man. They didn't like uh yeah, Soldier Boy too. Hey, I'm gonna play that. And you know what? I actually agree with Soldier Boy. I actually agree with him. I think that he had a right to say what he said. Peace, 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 peace. It's an army of three, and that's the way it's gonna be. Hey man, peace and love. Oh, they jumped out. They'll come back. Yeah, I actually agree with him, Free. Hey, he said he looking for that bag. He looking for that bag. It's about the bag. And he won. What y'all mad about? What y'all crying for, right? Ain't nothing we can do about it now. What did Tupac? I left this on my it's in one of my shorts, right? When Trump got elected, it the beef between black people who were in opposing parties, right? On the far left and on the far right, or on just on the left and right, uh, Republicans and Democrats seemed like the people who were in families or friends. You remember when it was like on Juice when Q ran up when Bishop ran up on Q at the locker. He was like, "What's up?" He was like, "What's up, man?" He was like, "Hey, man, I ain't said nothing." He said, "I know. Just came to see how you was doing. We crew. Always will be, you know." And then he looked down. He said, "Oh man, get off that shit. It's over. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it now." That's how I feel about this election, bro. Man, get off that shit. It's over. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it now. It's hey man, deal with that, you know. But people still got they draws in a wad. They draws are still in a wad, man. But whatever, you know. Give me a second, free. I'm just rounding up the people. Stay put, man. I'm just rounding up the people, brother. But yeah, people really got pissed. Really got pissed. Pissed. Big mad. Big mad. But they shouldn't be, man. Yeah, they shouldn't be. I don't understand it, brother. I don't understand it. It's selective outrage at its finest. A selective outrage. But you know, hey, oh, people are, they can feel the way they want. I guess. Hey, hey. Yeah, man. It's about time that the red dye came off the market, man. That people stopped utilizing it, right? And we stopped dealing with it. You know, other places around the world been got rid of it, bro. What are we doing still using it? That don't make sense, right? All of these different things, man. Hopefully it'll just be the start, right? Hopefully uh they'll do the knowledge and do the research on other chemicals and take those off the market as well. Don't stop with red dot 3, right? That's just one of them. But then you wonder if they took everything that was carcinogen, cars, carcinogen, right? Excuse me. They took everything off the market that was a carcinogen. Would there be a market left? There you go. That's something else. Absolutely. Blue 40. Get it off the market, man. It's killing people. It would only make sense to get off the market now. If it's feeding into a bigger picture, or if it's feeding into your system, your capitalist structure, then it would only behoove you to continue to feed it to your people, feed it to your citizens, because they just flow right through that triangle, that capitalist, that trinity, right? The food, medical, and pharmaceutical. They just keep on flowing through it, bro. They just keep going through it. I'm almost, I'm sending it to the people, brother. I'm sending it to the people, trying to get the people in. They might just have to watch it back because I've been on here for a minute. I'm gonna get started in a second, free. I appreciate you being uh um patient, brother. Well, you think? Hopefully we get a sugar tax that will help. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Maybe people stop eating sugar, right? Because it's no good either. Sugar's no good either. It's addictive, man. They say it's more addictive than cocaine. Sugar. And it's in everything. That's what's crazy. It is in absolutely everything. It's in everything. Peace, peace. We got that other person back. Hey, listen, come on back in. You feel what I'm saying? Spin the block. Come on. Say what's up. Say what it is. We glad you here. We are glad you are here. And we're gonna get started in just a second. We got a Nomad Nate leading with logic. That's one of the people. Hey, I appreciate you being here, man. Nomad Nate. I'm trying to figure out how I know you. Forgive me. Rolling back, only drinking grapefruit juice and pineapple juice, 1 or 2 ingredients. Listen, a lot of what the heck? A lot of drinks are nothing but pure D sugar. It's just pure D sugar, man. And fruits have all the natural ingredients that you need anyway. They have everything natural that you need anyhow. So you can get all the sugar from that. You dig what I'm saying? Like you don't even have to you don't have to you have to do anything but just drink those things, man. And train your palate, right? Train your palate to train your palate to enjoy that type of sugar and not really natural glucose. There you go. Train it for that natural sugar, bro, and not the artificial. Carbs are necessary, right? Complex carbs, not simple carbs. We have been fed simple carbs, and that's why we in the and bro, that's why we're in the shape we're in. That's why it messes with us, bro. It messes with every aspect of our life, man. Every aspect of our life. Every aspect. You know, it messes with our skin, it messes with our brain functions, it messes with everything. It messes with it all. So yeah, let me send out a couple more a couple more. I don't know what's wrong with this thing, man. Let's not send it. Oh no, I don't know. Let me see. Let me do this. I'm gonna try one more. Then I'm gonna Okay. You know what? I'm gonna just get started. So, man, again, I'm Brother Lead. I'm Brother Faheem. Actually, the name is Faheem. I'm Brother Faheem, man. I'm the gracious and humble host of the Lead with Logic podcast. I know I done said that about 30 million times, but we get ready to officially get started, get cracking, get going. Man, so much going on in the world today. So much, so much, so much. I wanted to round those things off, kind of deal with each of them, give them their respective time because they're all interesting. And I think that people, when they watch back, yeah, my man, it's Nate. Now I know who Nomad Nate is. Yes, sir. It's the king. Absolutely. It's King Nate. I see you, brother. That's my brother. Yes, sir. That's my brother from up there in Canada. But welcome, Nate. Y'all bring him in, Nate, you and free. So a lot of things going on, right? First and foremost, those things that deal with our health, deal with the health of others, right? Red Dot 30, excuse me, Red Dot 3. It was officially banned. They passed the ban for it. Now, they had already banned it some years back. We're going to get into it. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of literature, some articles that you all can read and peep out for yourself. But I see you, Nate, but they finally banned it, right? It had been banned in California, I want to say, for a second, but they finally made it a national ban. And we didn't use it. We stopped using it sometime for our face. So we stopped the sanction of utilizing it to put on our skin, but we were allowed to continue putting it inside of our body. So we couldn't put it on it, but we could put it down and could put it in it, right? It would only make sense if you can't put something on your skin. Why would you be able to put it inside of your body, right? That don't make no sense. Well, Red Dot 3 was taken off the market, and it has 2 years from what I read. But we're gonna go over this slightly. We have 2 years to get it for it to not be on the stores, on the shelves. So by January 2027, there will be no more Red Dot 3, no more items with Red Dot 3. The next thing is the trans ban, right? The trans ban. What is the trans ban? The trans ban is the ban on trans women being able to compete with women who were born naturally. Their anatomy is that of a woman. And I know that's a very, very inflammatory subject for some, right? Very inflammatory. I don't see how. I'm trying to see, and I'm gonna tell you why when we get in that section. But I get it, man. People reject and refute truth at a high level and at a very high rate. So I do understand that. And then today was very interesting for the black community. And I said this for the black community, it was interesting because you had Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his birthday being celebrated today. Now, his birthday is on the 15th of January, but it's always celebrated in America on the third Monday. And so this happens to be the third Monday. And here we are celebrating it. Now, why is that interesting? It's interesting because at the same time, simultaneously, you guys, the inauguration of our president, Donald J. Trump. I want to say it's Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump is happening or happened today. And so, yeah, very exciting. Very, very exciting. So before I get started, I'm gonna pull this up. So I'm gonna share with you guys. You know, it used to be that this was to be up until a certain year to be uh one that partakes in same-sex activities. It was considered to be a mental illness, right? That's how the doctors who did the research, right? That's what they concluded. But now in a I want to say it was 1974, they now stop classifying it as that. Well, we understand since there's been the emergence of the LGBTQ community. And let me say this, I'm not against anybody. This is a disclaimer. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not anti anything. I am merely speaking the facts. I am merely stating the truth. Uh, I'm not against or trying to violate, humiliate anyone. That's not what we do here on the Lead with Logic show. However, we do stand on our square of truth, and we will stand behind the truth that we speak. So, with that being said, At one point it was looked at as being mentally unstable, but then they took it off of there, right? And with the new advent of the LGBTQ community, we've seen a whole lot of things to transpire. One of the things is not just same sex marriages, which was sanctioned. We've seen this whole transgender issue, men wanting to be women, women wanting to be men. It's not a problem till it is. You know, some people don't have a problem with it until you start now trying to push this as normal to the children. Some people don't have a problem with it until you try now to push trans women, or i.e., men, to compete with natural born women. Now, the thing about that is we understand that the anatomy of a man or woman is essentially different, right? A woman is going to be stronger in her lower extremities and not as strong in her upper, whereas a man can be stronger in his upper and maybe even potentially strong in his lower. Maybe not as strong in the lower as a woman, but he can have a considerable amount of strength there. Now, I mention that because there's been this, and I'm gonna read the article. There's been this thing or this issue of, again, trans women or men who identify as women competing, being allowed to compete with women who were born as a woman, and it's caused several problems. So I just want to point to one. This is one. I know it's not sports, but it shows you what happens when, uh, and this is not even so much as about the person. It shows what happens when government now sanctions this type of thinking, this type of these actions, right? Hey, we will honor you being a trans woman and accommodate you as if you were a woman, you know. So here's what I want to read. New Jersey trans prisoner who impregnated two inmates transferred to men's facility. Demi Minor, 27, has been transferred from New Jersey's only women's prison to the vulnerable housing unit at a men's facility. A transgender inmate has been transferred out of the only women's prison in New Jersey after impregnating two female inmates. Demi Minor, 27, has been moved to the vulnerable housing unit at the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility, a prison for young adults ages 18 to 30, according to Dan Speraza, a New Jersey Department of Corrections spokesman. Speraza continued that there are three trans women housed in the youth facility vulnerable housing unit, though the prison's general population houses only men. Minor removal from the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for women comes just a year after the state reached a settlement with the American Civil Liberties Union of New Jersey to house transgender inmates according to their gender identity instead of the sex they were assigned at birth. The facility currently houses 27 transgender inmates, New Jersey Advance Media reported. That's wild. So basically, they went to court, man, because they wanted to house people according to how they identified, not what they were born with, right? That is nuts. And this is what happened. This is the result of not having common sense, right? The ACLU of New Jersey did not provide a response to NBC News request for comment regarding Minor's prison transfer. Minor, who is serving a 30-year prison sentence uh, for manslaughter, impregnated the fellow inmates earlier this year following consensual sexual relationships. Speraza confirmed. He added that even consensual sex between inmates is prohibited in the state. Is it now? Last year, two inmates at Edna Mahan filed a lawsuit challenging the state policy and practice of housing some pre-gender confirmation surgery transgender women, adding that it violates their constitutional rights according to court documents. So not even these women who were in there, they understood how wrong that was. They understood the implications of that. These prisoners had more damn sense than the authorities that they were appealing to. That's a shame. In a letter from Minor posted to the blog Justice for Demi, which often publishes videos and letters from her, she described her removal from Edna Mahan as punishment for having sex with two women. As a woman who is transgender, I truly fear what lies ahead of me, as it's clear that staff have looked for some kind of security reason to kick me out of the only female correctional facility, Minor wrote in the past, which was published Friday. They have thrown me to the wolves and expect for me just give up. I am baffled and disgusted by this use power, and I can only ask the commissioner and governor's office, please send me back. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Mm, mm, mm. That's that's one instant. That's one incident. That's what that is. And this was in the NBC News. This was, what year was this? July 19th, 2021. Obviously, this occurred. The impregnation occurred in 2020. This was 2022. Excuse me. The impregnation had occurred in 2021. This is beyond me. That's what it is. It's beyond me. That's crazy. That's crazy. The freaking inmates are suing, saying that this is unconstitutional. You damn right it's unconstitutional, because they understand they're gonna be up in there getting pregnant. As if rape, as if relationships, as if sexual intercourse doesn't occur in women and men's prison. I wonder, would they put a trans man in a men's prison? So yeah, that was one thing, right? But that's not it. I'm gonna show you guys some more stuff, right? I'll show you guys something else. This is another article. This gets into the lawsuit of it. Now this is more recent. This article is more recent. Lawsuit pins blame for assaults on transgender policy in New Jersey prisons. A formerly incarcerated woman is suing over New Jersey's transgender policy in prisons, claiming she was sexually assaulted by a transgender inmate who shouldn't have been moved to the state's only women's prison. In the complaint, Laurel Mitchell said she was sexually assaulted on 3 separate occasions at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility, for women, while she and her alleged attacker were working prison jobs outside of their cells. She repeatedly asked prison officials to reassign her to a job away from Demi Minor, the person she says assaulted her, but they did not comply. According to the lawsuit filed last month in state superior court in Hunterdon County, it's unclear if Mitchell reported the alleged assault. Her attorney did not respond to New Jersey Monitor's request for comment, but the lawsuit notes that a witness reported at least one assault. By failing to properly investigate the earlier assaults, defendants sent a signal to Minor that this behavior will be tolerated, and sent a signal to the plaintiff, Lauren Mitchell, that she was on her own, incarcerated with a dangerous man. That's crazy. That is crazy. So basically, you are putting these women in danger by housing them together. Now, again, we're talking about trans women competing with normal or women who were born women, competing, in sports. But this is part of the implication. This is part of why this is a problem. That's crazy. And again, this is the New Jersey Monitor. This was September 11th, 2024. So yeah, that was that was real crazy. So assaulted somebody. That same guy. Now, here's an article. Most of these, a lot of these out of New Jersey, right? I guess it's a lot going on in Jersey. You hold with me real quick. Hold with me real quick. Service getting nervous. You hold with me real quick. Here we go. Transgender swimmer at Ramapo College faces more criticism after breaking school record. This was in February 2024. A transgender swimmer at Rompano College of New Jersey is facing another round of criticism from Riley Gaines after breaking another school record at the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship last week. Megan Cortez Fields is a senior at the Mawa School and is originally from College Station, Texas. Before this year, she swam for the men's swim team at, Ramapo for 3 years. In November, Cortez Fields found herself and the school facing controversy after breaking a school record in the 100-yard butterfly. On Friday, day two of the NJAC championships, Cortez Field swam a time of 2.820 in the 200-yard individual medley, breaking the previous school record set by Brenda Arthur in 2016 of 2:10:10. Later that day, Gaines, a University of Kentucky alumni and well-known but controversial figure in the debate over the rights of transgender athletes, took to her X account to make a statement on Cortez Field's NJC performance. Male swimmer from Ramapo College sets another record in women's events, said Gaines. Now tell me again the strides of women have made when society applauds a man for pushing us off our own podium. I want to say that's Title IX. Title IX literally means nothing at this point. So again, we see participants, we see other naturally born women speaking out because they understand this is absolutely anti-woman. This is misogynist, really. This is not feminist. This is not anything but misogyny because you are cheating these women out of competition, out of the glory that they so desperately deserve, if that's the way I can put it, right? That's unfair, right? So yeah. Mm. Here are the examples. These are things that these are the problems. This is why this ban was caused, right? This is why these bans are even taking effect because of issues like these. Yeah, issues like these. So again, I'm just going through these. I'm just going through these articles. Let me read. I saw Leslie Walker. Leslie Walker, peace. He came in. There should be, so Nate said this, there should be 1,000. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Bree said, well, when you have one side of the genders that think they know something and willing to vote for Democrats, you get victims of bad policy. Man, it's really it's that, but it's also more so, man, a rejection and a refutal of truth and science, right? This whole argument about there being more than one gender, that's not what science would dictate. There's only two genders. And listen, again, I'm not against anybody, but I really don't rock out with that. I don't align with it. Why? Because it's unnatural and it stops the movement and the forward advancement of life. An XY and another XY can never produce a seed, and an XX and an XX can never produce a seed. So now, why is it that we would advocate for that? That would mean the total extinction and annihilation of the human population. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Let me share the screen. Here we go. Here's the last article. Then we're going to take a look at what the lawmakers said when they passed this. Trans athlete injures multiple girls, forcing team to forfeit without feminism. Third wave feminists have set women back 50 years, just like what they've done to women's sports. Their forebears in the movement would be appalled. Once the promises of voting and property rights had been fulfilled by the early suffragettes, the Mary Wollstonecrafts and the Susan B. Anthonys, the second wave feminists turned their attention to other iterations of sex equality. The Gloria Steinems and the Bella Abzugs burned their bras in the streets, descended on the Capitol, and demanded equal employment, equal pay, and equal education educational opportunities. Their crowning achievement was perhaps Title IX. Oh, that's what she was talking about. Of the Educational Amendments of 1972, the federal civil rights law guaranteeing sex equality in education in all its many manifestations, whether admissions, scholarships, graduate programs, housing accommodation, or athletics. What a difference a half century makes. To watch the patent discrimination extant in women's sporting events these days, you'd be hard pressed to think Title IX exists at all. For this, we have third wave feminists to thank, those who have sacrificed women's equality on the altar of equity for trans identified males. They believe gender is performative, that that the coherence of gender expression is illusory, that one's natural sex is transitory. These feminists, the Judith Butlers and Gloria Anzalduas, gifted us the poison of queer theory and set up a battle of the sexes playing out in real time in high school gymnasiums everywhere. These same feminists have fed us the narrative that divisions over transgender athletic participation are based not on the fulsome evidence of the athletic advantages of transgender identified males, but rather on our deeply held and rather largely unexamined assumptions about biology and gender. I'm gonna read that again. These same feminists have fed us the narrative that division over transgender athletic participation are based not on the fulsome evidence of the athletic advantages of transgender identified males, but rather on our deeply held and rather largely unexamined assumptions about biology and gender. In layman's term, they're not they're not trying to lead with logic. They're allowing their emotion and their biases to kick in. And that's really what you hear when you start speaking about science, when you start thinking about medical and what is and is not possible, not because you want it to be or not because it needs to be, fluffed out, right? Truth don't need a friend or defense. It is what it is, right? Where I see where people will run from it, people will sidestep and swipe, all these good things, but science doesn't lie. But if the widely recognized proof of male athletic advantages isn't sufficient for the third wave feminists to call an end to an end to men and women's sports, perhaps evidence of injured female athletes will be. These injuries sustained by girls and women during athletic contests with transgender athletes are not the stuff of mere speculation. Significant bodily harm, I'm gonna say it again, significant bodily harm to young women is already well documented and on the rise. That's crazy. That is crazy. But if the take a recent game between the Collegiate Charter School of Lowell in Massachusetts and KIPP Academy in Lyon, Massachusetts, a trans-identified 6 foot tall male player with facial hair playing for the KIPP Academy girls basketball team injured multiple players and eventually forced the Collegiate Charter School to forfeit. In now widely circulated video, he is seen wrestling the ball away from one of the girls, causing her to hit the ground where she clutches her back in pain. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. It's an example of what's going on, right? In 2022, North Carolina volleyball player Peyton McNabb suffered serious injury after a trans identified male player spiked the ball at her head and rendered her unconscious. Damn. He hit the ball. Y'all know when it spiked, they throw it up, hit it. He hit her so hard that she was rendered unconscious. Now, you know how small a volleyball is. Volleyball is rather small, rather light, full of air. This dude hit her so hard she was knocked unconscious. Mm, mm, mm. Where now is the feminist outrage of our grandmothers? Where the dismay of the third wave feminists at their prescriptions on intersexuality and queerness have wrought? So yeah, that is an article by the Heritage Foundation. Commentary, Gender. It's a 3-minute read, and it was on March 5th, 2024. So people have been feeling some kind of way about this. They've really been feeling some kind of way. So now I'm gonna show you what they said. What was mentioned when they had the ban. What was said. Trans ban. So give me 1 second. I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to hear it. Yeah, it was. Welcome, welcome, whoever that is. Let me see. Hey, lead. I gotta fall back. Hopefully, you have space later on. I'll let you later. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and love, free. I appreciate you coming through, soldier. Welcome, welcome. I see it's 4 more people in here. We are army of 5, and that ain't no job. Listen, why don't y'all holler at me? Get at me in the comments, man. Let me know that you understand. Let me know that you're here, and you're a huge supporter and a huge fan. I'm just pulling up. I'm pulling up this. Pulling up this YouTube, and then we're gonna move. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm not gonna play too much of it. I just want you to hear what he said, how he justified his perspective on this bill, and how it's going to impact and help women going forward.
Welcome to the Capitol, everybody. Good afternoon. This is a great day for women in America. Yes, wait, that's an applause line. House Republicans have yet again stood up for women. This is a commitment that we have made because it comports with what is right and what is common sense. We know from scripture and from nature that men are men and women are women, and men cannot become women. It's sad that we have to say that. It's a matter of biology. It's how we're made. And if we try to ignore that or to undo it, we do so at our peril and to the detriment of our daughters. Across the country, female athletes like Riley Gaines and Paula Scanlon and Peyton McNabb have had to compete head-to-head against biological men. It's just not right. Around the world, it's estimated that more than 700 female athletes have been displaced by males in their women's sporting events. And that has resulted in more than 1,000 estimated medals, records, and scholarships intended for women going to men. My own daughters competed in sports as they were growing up, and I can only imagine the anger I would feel as a dad if they had their trophies stolen from them. But that's indeed what many women are facing today. And it's not just anger, it's fear. Biological men competing against women also poses a threat to the safety of our girls. It's dangerous, it's unfair, it's a rejection of reality, and it is just plain wrong. But today, the House voted to uphold common sense again. We voted to require all schools receiving federal funds to uphold the original meaning of Title IX and keep biological men out of women's sports. Last Congress, we voted on this legislation as well. We will note that not one single Democrat joined us. Today was an improvement. It's bipartisan. We had 2 Democrats join us. Yes. But it's shameful. There should have been many, many more. In fact, I would argue that every member of this body should have voted for common sense and to protect women. And for some reason, for politics, I guess, they chose not to. The American people sent a clear message in November. They want us to return to common sense, but it appears that some of our friends in the other party are ignoring that plea. This Congress, we have the power of a Republican Senate, and we will have Donald J. Trump return to the White House in less than a week. That is going to be a sea change around here, and we can't wait.
He said a return of common sense. I like that. He was right. It is a return of common sense. And the relevance of this is you heard what he said. There were no Democrats at first who got on board with this. Now there were two. You know, again, I'm rewinding in time a little bit. See, this is part of the reason why I wouldn't fuck with the Democrats, right? Because I don't get behind no silly shit like that. That's silly. Why would y'all allow girls to compete with men? That's horrible. Yeah, but nah, I can't. You can't be pro woman and then you allowing these girls to go out to the slaughter. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense at all. But I wanted to bring that back because I thought that, and I think that that's relevant. Now, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you what the left had to say, what they had to say about the bill, how they defended themselves, and then we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward with the red band, and we're gonna get on to some other stuff. I'm gonna try to make it as swift as possible, right? I'm gonna try to make it as swift as possible. But let me show y'all this. We got my one person. Peace, peace. Whoever you are, I appreciate you. You are a star. I appreciate you. Here we go. So trans girls are girls. ALC blast GOP bill to ban transgender athletes from women's sports. This is the left. This is what they had to say.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, Madam Ranking Member. Here we are today, Republicans who have voted consistently against the Violence Against Women Act, who have taken away the right of all women to choose and have control over their own body, who, as women are bleeding out in parking lots across the country, standing there, allowing us to die, now want to pretend today that they care about women. And why? To open up gender and, yes, genital examinations into little girls in this country in the so-called name of attacking trans girls. And to that, today, what we have to say are two words: not today. The majority right now says there's no place in this bill that says it opens up for genital examinations. Well, here's the thing. There's no enforcement mechanism in this bill. And when there is no enforcement mechanism, you open the door to every enforcement mechanism. Trans girls are girls. And for all the folks that are so concerned, thank you for your concern about women for the first time that I've seen. I don't know about y'all. I don't know who's been to gym class lately, but girls, even if you only believe in two genders, I've played co-ed sports all the time. But what this also opens the door for is for women to try to perform a very specific kind of femininity for the very kind of men who are drafting this bill, and to open up questioning of who is a woman because of how we look, how we present ourselves, and yes, what we choose to do with our bodies. I know who loves this bill. Yes, bigoted folks love this bill. Assaulters love this bill. But also, CEOs love this bill because Los Angeles is on fire right now. And this is the number one priority this majority has.
Whew. Yeah. Hmm. She lost me at trans girls are girls. That's where she lost me. Like I hear you with all the other stuff, but nah, I can't fly with trans girls or girls. Sorry. I like how you show the facts. You like Joe Rogan and Jamie at the same time. Bro, that's all I can do, man. Cause Nate, what happened, man? I remember this election season, bro. People came down hard against people who weren't for the Democrats. Oh my God. Woo. And I'm a black man, bro. I'm a black man. And so, I was a part of the blame. I was a part of the reason why, per, you know, per different political pundits, per the Democratic Party, right? I was a part of the reason. I was uneducated, right? I was not literate to politics, right? And it's like, really? Really? So this is part of the reason. The reason I'm showing this is because this is part of the reason why I do not deal with the Democrats. Again, I didn't vote. Let me put that out there because national politics are not as imminent as local. If you voted, that's cool, right? It is your right as a citizen. Some would even say it's your duty. And I go with that. Right on. Nah, not so much. I'd rather get involved locally because it's a more imminent, it's more local. It means more to me, right? And I have more control. And it's not as divisive. People tend to uh, be more willing to work with people who they see making an effort in their community, even if they don't necessarily agree with what they're trying to get past. Okay, you're making an effort. Let's talk about this diplomatically, amicably, and go toward a resolution. But in national politics, man, it gets to be theater. It gets to be, it's almost like gang banging, right? It's almost like this political set against that political set. And if you ain't got my color on, my political color on, you going against me, it's crazy. So I get it. I don't get involved in that. But come on, man. This is crazy. That's not it. That is not it at all. But so yeah, that got passed and I'm for it. Let me say I'm all for it. All for it, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am all for that. Yes, I'm all for that ban because again, like we read, we see instances in prisons where females are suing. They're saying their constitutional rights are being uh, violated. They're saying that trans women or men shouldn't even be in the prison with them. There are women who are competing, who are getting hurt, seriously injured, right? Competing with men. So no, I'm not. If you love women, I don't see how you could be for a trans woman competing with natural woman. I don't see it. It don't make sense. It does not make sense. And I'm not talking about, she mentioned when you go back and watch this, she said, I'm in gym class and I competed all the time. Well, that's a co-ed league. Co-ed leagues are a little bit different, right? Co-ed leagues generally are a little bit more balanced because you figure, okay, some women on that side, some women on this side, some men on that side, some men on this side. But we're talking about, you know, a trans woman boxing with a woman, right? A natural born woman, right? We're talking about a trans woman swimming against in an all woman's league, an all natural woman swimming league. That's crazy. That is insane. That's insanity. And again, go back and look at the proof. Look at the documentation. These people are breaking records that it's taking these women years to construct. That's unfair, man. Nate says suicidal empathy. I'm pretty sure it was Elon who said that, where they care more about the person committing the crimes than the victim. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nate, it's the same shit in the school system when you see a kid tries to defend himself from a bully, and they will penalize the kid that's defending himself and not do anything to the bully. They'll say, well, we have a no fighting policy. Dude, this kid tried to trample my kid. How do you expect him to respond? He could get seriously injured if he just allows this kid to pummel him. What are you doing? Right? You're now blaming the victim, right? Like you're saying, suicidal empathy. Absolutely, man. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to the forefront. We're gonna move along though, right? The next thing is red dot 3. Red dot 3 was a big thing. I talked about how it's been banned. Um, I want to say it's been banned in California here in the United States for some time. Now it's been banned from us using it on our skin, right? Because it causes it has chemical dyes in it that are not conducive to the advancement of life, i.e., it could harm us, right? It's one of those things. And so, they banned it. They got it banned finally, which is great because it's been banned all around the world. Again, you have to ask yourself, what kind of system, what kind of structure now would say that it loves its citizens, right? But at the same time, give its citizens outside of what's in alignment with the rest of the world, right? The civilized world would give its citizens chemicals and substances that it knows would only promote sickness and illness. How does that happen? Right? You would have to say now, what kind of system do we live under? We live up under a capitalist system, right? Where things are privatized, where profits are more heralded than people, right? So that's something to think about. That would be the only time that a system would do this to its citizens. But here we go. FDA bans red number 3 artificial coloring used in beverages, candy, and other foods. Evidence shows that the synthetic dye can cause cancer in lab animals. And just to put a caveat on that, they always use lab animals as, as case studies, right? To see, how human animals, to see how human beings will respond to these treatments. The Food and Drug Administration said Wednesday it's banning the use of red number 3, a synthetic dye that gives food and drinks their bright red cherry color, but has been linked to cancer in animals. The dye is still used in thousands of foods, including candy, cereals, cherries, and fruit cocktails, strawberry flavored milkshakes. According to the Center of Science in the Public Interest, a food safety advocacy group that petitioned the agency in 2022 to end its use. More than 9,200 food items contain the dye, including hundreds of products made by large food companies, CSPI said, citing Agriculture Department data. The FDA is not prohibiting other artificial dyes, including red number 40, which has been linked to behavioral issues in children. So there are still chemicals, there are still things out there on the market that they have already established. Science has established these things are no good for children. Why would they still be allowed on the market? The FDA's decision is a victory for consumer advocacy groups and some U.S. lawmakers who have long urged to revoke red number 3's approval, citing ample evidence that its use in beverages, dietary supplements, cereals, and candies may cause cancer as well as affect children's behavior. At long last, the FDA is ending its regulatory paradox of red number 3. Let me do this so I can. All right. Here we go. Being illegal for use in lipstick, but perfectly legal to feed children in the form of candy. So they banned it when cosmetics, right? But they still allowed you to eat it. Said Dr. Peter Lurie, president of the CSPI. The agency banned an additive in cosmetics in 1990 under the Delaney Clause, a federal law that requires the FDA to ban food additives that are found to cause or induce cancer in humans or animals. Boom, there it is. So it don't matter if it causes it in humans. They're like, listen, this thing is not even good for animals. Why would we allow for human consumption? Does that make sense? The FDA cannot authorize a food additive or color additive. I'm sorry. Food manufacturers will have until January 15, 2027 to reformulate their products. Companies that make ingested drugs such as dietary supplements will get an additional year. The FDA cannot authorize a food additive or color additive if it has been found to cause cancer in human or animals, Jim Jones, the FDA's deputy director for human foods, said in a statement. Evidence shows cancer in laboratory male rats exposed to high levels of FD&C red number 3. Look at that. What is red number 3? Approved for its use in foods in 1907, is made from petroleum. The FDA's effort to ban the dye has been in the works for decades. The agency first became aware that the additive was possibly carcinogenic carcinogenic, excuse me, let me slow down, carcinogenic following a study in the 1980s that found tumors in male rats who were exposed to it in high doses. It removes an unnecessary hazard from the American food supply, and we welcome that action, even though it should have occurred more than 3 decades ago. Damn, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. I wondered, will they allow us to make disability claims for this shit, right? We should be getting some kind of disability. I mean, they've been exposing us to this. Here it is. They saying it should have been banned 30 years ago. That means you have a whole generation. You have what? 2 generations, right? Let's say a generation is every 15 years. You have a whole generation of 2 whole generations of people, man, right? However many that have been exposed, that have been digesting this chemical that has petroleum in it, right? That's crazy. This is a big win for consumers. That is cancer, that this cancer causing chemical is finally going to be out of the food supply. It is long overdue, said Melanie Benish, Vice President for Government Affairs at the Environmental Working Group, a research and advocacy health organization that joined the petition to end the use of red number 3. We are thrilled that the FDA has finally managed to get it over the finish line. Woo. Revoking the authorized use of red number 3 is an example of the FDA using its risk and science-based authority, to review the safety of products in the marketplace. Senior Vice President of Product Policy and Federal Affairs, Sarah Gallo, said in a written statement, food and beverage companies will continue to follow the latest science and comply with all food safety regulations to ensure safe and available choices for consumers. Oh, here we go. The Biden administration's move comes before the Senate confirmation hearings for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Health and Human Services Secretary. Kennedy has said he would make removing artificial dyes from the food supply a focus of the administration. That's a plus, you guys. That is a big time plus. I don't know. Again, I've been telling people, this is spilled milk. You still complaining about Donald Trump. You still complaining about the presidency. You still hollering wolf that you don't like Donald Trump. Hey man, get over it. Get over it. Figure out what the silver lining is. Figure out how you can capitalize. Figure out how you can thrive. We understand that with the Republican Party comes Republican policies and Republican procedures. That's fine. Just like we understand with the Democratic Party comes policies and procedures. That's fine. The point is this: how can you thrive? How can you make money? They're calling Donald Trump, at least I call him, the crypto president. He's the business president. It might behoove us to get acquainted with crypto. It might behoove us to get acquainted with business, because there are going to be a lot of gains for those people who know how to capitalize and optimize on them, right? And this is a plus. This is absolutely a plus. This is something, if you have children, if you have relatives that you would like to see moving into the future, illness free, this is a win. This is a plus with that. This is absolutely a plus. Absolutely a plus. So yes, I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm hoping that other, like the Robert F. Kennedy like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, I'm hoping that he gets all of those cancer causing agents out of all of our food supply. Yeah. Yeah, because what I didn't read was it's been banned in New Zealand. It's been banned in other European countries for years. America's just now getting into alignment. Yeah. We got to lead with logic, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm like this. We got to lead with logic. Yeah, we got to lead with logic, man, because that is a plus. That is a huge plus. And good on the FDA and good on Donald Trump's our president's pick, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He said he's going to focus on getting all of those substances banned. That's beautiful, man. That is beautiful. I love to see it. I love to see it. Love to see it. So yeah, I love to see that. Listen, what is next? The inauguration of Donald Trump. Man, 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 what a tangle web we weave. Y'all know the rest. I forgot it. Something about something when at first we something to deceive. I don't know. But y'all know what I'm saying. You know, I want to show y'all something. I'm going to show you guys something. You know, back in 2016, at President Trump's initial inauguration, something happened, right? Something happened. Uh, Chrisette Michelle, the singer, she accepted the invitation to sing at Donald Trump's inauguration. And people had a real issue with that. People had a real issue with that. They didn't like because, you know, here's this racist, so-called racist, this boogeyman, this tyrant, this fascist, right? Uh Here he is. He's the president now. And I guess we as black people are supposed to be outraged or appalled by this. And so we're not supposed to, you know, we're not supposed to have any sort of engagement in this. We're not supposed to engage or interact with this at all. Now, she caught a lot of flack. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, because, you know, I'm one of the guys, I look at it like this. If I can't now give you a job, if I can't offer you something as good as what you have or better, I can't really criticize or complain when you go to the other person that does. Because people's circumstances and conditions are specific to them and what they have going on. It's not for me to judge and say, hey, just because you belong to my group, you can't go over there and work for a person who governs everybody in a country that we live in, regardless if we like it or not. It's a job. Uh, you can take it. You know, I often say, you know, when people get critical of people who work for people who are deemed racist or fascist, specifically when black people get like this, it's like, okay, I understand you, but do you work for a racist? Do you work for an all black company? Right? Do you work for a company that has racist perspectives or views, or who might have a racist supervisor or someone that is perceived to be racist, right? And most of us do in America, because while we do have black businesses, we don't quite have enough to support all of our people in a way that we could separate and be separate from the mainstream or the larger society. So now I always try to remember, hey, listen, I've worked in a racist structure before where I've had to deal with people whom I did not want to deal with. And so it's no different from Chrisette Michelle. If that's the line of logic that we're using, you've had to do it too. And if you still have to do it, how dare you criticize? That's hypocritical. You don't have anything to give this sister. So why are you now criticizing her? For what? It makes no sense. Just because you don't like this man, I'm supposed or she's supposed to not accept a bag that could enhance her life, that could help her family. She doesn't have to like them. She didn't have to like him, right? Michael Jackson performed for Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton wrote the three strike laws along with y'all's boy Joe Biden, right? Bill Clinton was the one who had that brother executed, who had been convicted of a crime that he wasn't even mentally stable. He didn't even know what was going on. They asked him what was he going to do. He said after the execution, he was going, I don't know, I think it was have some pizza or something he made reference to. This was Bill Clinton, right? Who fought with Sister Soldier, right? Who played a conservative, who ran on a conservative liberal platform, who we deemed the first black president, right? You had Michael Jackson to perform for him. Nobody criticized that. Nobody criticized that at all. Nobody criticized. This was Angela Staton King. She mentioned this. Nobody criticized Jesse Jackson when he allowed Trump to help him get the Push coalition uh, off the ground. Nobody criticized that. So why would you criticize this sister? She's not a lawmaker. She's not a politician. She's not even a leader in our community. So why was she criticized? But I'm making this reference so that we can come forward to what happened just recently. Check this out. We're gonna go back in time.
Grammy Award-winning artist Chrisette Michele is defending her decision to perform at one of President Donald Trump's inaugural balls. She has faced widespread criticism from fans, family members, and even fellow artists.
And now she's out with a new single directly responding to the backlash. Chrisette Michele is here with us now to talk more about the reaction to her performance. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm curious, what is your reaction? Because the more we read about it, even members of your own family have cut you off.
Well, no one's cut me off, God
Okay.
forbid, right? But mom and dad were supportive. And then they had older sisters and brothers who were, I'm sure, petrified and uncomfortable with my decision, as they aren't Trump supporters, which I didn't vote for Trump either. But so, that's been a scary thing for them. After the performance and after they saw that, I came out okay, they were, a little easier to talk to. But before, it was pretty scary.
You've got this new spoken word track, No Political Genius, and you referenced the performance saying, quote, "I am the black elephant in the red room, scared, shook." You said you had no hesitation to perform. Explain what those lyrics and those words mean.
Sure, I was that black elephant in the red room in the White House that we're all afraid to talk about, that we're all avoiding. I want to start a conversation. I want everybody to know what everybody's going through so we can all fight together. But if we're all shouting and yelling and nobody really knows what the real issues are, it might take no political genius to talk about them.
Chrisette, you may not have voted for Donald Trump, which is
Right.
what you said,
Right.
but he is the president of the United States. And is that how you sort of feel about it?
And
It's the president.
apparently 40% of the country did. So I can't walk past 4 out of 10 people
Right.
on the street every day and not speak to them. We've got to talk, because obviously I don't know what you're going through that made you make that decision, but I'm not going to hate you because of it.
If you had met the president, what would you have said to him?
Hi, this is what we look like. I don't know who you're talking about, but this is what we look like. I think many women, many African Americans, many people of all different backgrounds wonder if people even are aware of who he's speaking to. I think some of us feel just misrepresented and kind of invisible right now. And we're wondering, can you hear my voice? That's what I would have said.
Several people, celebrities, Spike Lee, Questlove, they took to social media to criticize your decision. How did that make you feel?
At first, I'm thinking, Spike Lee, man, like, you're the one who's supposed to teach me how to film this next piece of art so that we can make some change. I started a TV show called No Political Genius.
I'm gonna stop right here so we can read what Spike Lee said. Good morning, folks. I was sorry to read that Sister Girl is singing at Donald Trump's inauguration, and to use his favorite word, sad. I was thinking about using Chrisette's song Black Girl Magic in my Netflix series. She's Gotta Have It. Not anymore. And that's the truth, Ruth. Now that's ignorant. That was very ignorant of Spike Lee. Why would you say something, Brother Spike? Why would you say that, Spike Lee? Now, Spike, this is the brother who made Malcolm X. Why would you publicly go against your sister? Damn, Spike. Have you given her a job? Do you have money to give her a job? Can you pay her? Right? You are on Instagram saying that you wouldn't give her the royalties. You wouldn't give her the opportunity to support her in her art, right? But but then you would criticize because she went and got the opportunity. And you just heard she said she didn't vote for Donald Trump. And she also said she felt like he didn't hear us. I'm assuming she's talking about black women. But this is the shit I'm talking about. Horrible. Like Mr. Omar said, tragic, tragic.
I'm filming it now out of my own cash, and I wanted people like that to show me the way. Now I don't have that mentor, so he handed me the baton in a different kind of way. And to Questlove, he said I would pay you not to perform. I would have paid him to perform. I think we're better together than separate.
Now, India Ari, she came to your defense, and she said this was just a misstep. So how did that hit you?
That's her opinion, and I completely understand. And I'm grateful that I can still have that conversation with her. What are the missteps? Because at the end of the day, I need people to teach me. I need people to teach us. I think we all need to teach each other.
Yeah, she said it was a misstep. See, that was cool, but it was almost a backhanded compliment. What do you mean it was a misstep? It wasn't a misstep. Grown people make grown choices and adult choices. She knew what she was doing. And listen, I get it. You wanted the sister wanted to come out and say, "Hey, this is cool," and this is all in the past, though. I'm just giving you guys context, right? I didn't even know about India, but wow, she could have left the misstep out. But hey, it's cool. In fact, you know what? We're gonna leave that right there. We're going to leave that right there. And we're going to go to another place right now. Let's see if anybody's checked in. Listen, I appreciate you guys. Again, man. Again. Lead with Elijah, number7.com. Go over there. See what we got. Check us out, man. We got hoodies. We got hats. Lead with Elijah. And we also have tees with the brand on it. Listen, keep this saying on your brain. You feel what I'm saying? It is a brand of saying in a podcast. Lead with Logic stands for letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. I almost said community. Yeah. But go on over, lead with Logic, number7.com. So now fast forward. In the second inauguration, Nelly, Snoop, and Soulja Boy performed for Trump. Now we're gonna rewind a couple of. We're gonna rewind and take a look at what at what Snoop had to say about Donald Trump. The first go around, right? We're gonna look at that. It's crazy. It's wild and crazy, kids. Wild and crazy.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
That was in 2016. That was what he had to say. Here he is in 2025. Somebody put, well, that wind blew another way.
About noon, just thought that I had to be in Compton soon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can play that, man, because YouTube. Sometimes if you don't clear the samples, man, it won't let you play it. So this is Snoop at the inauguration, right? At the inaugural ball for Donald Trump. the same fella who we just saw say who was going to be first to do it. Well, he came back. If you read this comment here, it's interesting. It says, well, the wind blew another way, I guess. He ate his words today. Yeah, you know, that's crazy. Here, that's nuts. That's nuts. See, that's why you shouldn't publicly criticize your people, man. Keep your mouth shut. Because now, again, you have opened yourself up, Snoop. And I respect Snoop. I respect the dog, Snoopy. He's a pillar in hip hop. He's a pillar. But he spoke out of turn. He spoke out of turn. But now here's that's what that's this is recent. But I want y'all to see what Soldier Boy said uh about his Trump performance. Now, Soldier Boy is a bit vulgar, right? He's a bit vulgar. Um he's a bit less refined. He's a rapper, right? He's a rapper. And he reacted. He shot back with the same amount of vitriol that he felt was being thrown at him. And I get it. So I want you guys, I'm gonna play what he said because it's similar to what I said. It's just a little bit more sporadic. Look, I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna play this, and then I got one more, and then we're gonna get up out of here. I ain't gonna hold you guys for too much longer. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you for. Here we go. Hold on.
They pay me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my fucking pockets.
Soldier Boy fires back.
They pay me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my fucking pockets. Nigga. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pockets. Nigga. Trump put money in my pockets. Nigga. Obama is trying to say something about me performing at the crypto ball party. Did Kamala call my fucking phone? Did Obama call my motherfucking phone? Did any of you call my motherfucking phone? Oh, God. Fuck you, man. I do what the fuck I want. Trump call my phone. It wasn't even a Trump event. Trump wasn't even there. Y'all so worried about he performed, him, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross. Kamala, you ain't even win. Obama, you ain't call my fucking phone. I'll suck my dick, nigga. Y'all want me to not answer the phone of the fucking president? Get the president of the motherfucking United States. Trump wasn't even there. It wasn't even a Trump event. It was the
What was interesting to me is that he said Obama and Kamala never put no money in my pocket. Now that's odd and strange because on the campaign trail, we saw Beyonce, we saw Kelly Rowland, we saw Cardi B, we saw Megan Thee Stallion. We saw all of these young ladies performing for these political candidates, right? And they had their degree of criticism. They did, but it's no different. They were utilized by this party to render a service. That's it. Uh, I'm looking for the clip. D1 said, all of y'all that's mad about these rappers performing for Trump, it's bullshit. And I agree with that. It's bullshit. Get off of that. Get off of it. That's selective outrage. That's selective outrage because you're only upset because you don't really dig or you don't really go with Trump. Well, guess what? What about us that don't really go for the Democrats? Right? They utilize Cardi B. They utilize Megan Thee Stallion. It was insulting. It was insulting, but they did it. They do it. Again, it's a job. It's a job. They offer them that bag. They tell them, hey, listen, I'll take it. I accept. Where do I need to come? Where do I need to show up? What do I need to do? That's it. It happens on both sides. If you're not upset and outraged about it all, then you should be quiet. Don't even be outraged about it when you're the party that you're not aligned with does it. Because when your party does it, you have no issues with it. You have no issues. But yeah, D1, he's the rapper, the Christian rapper that ironically criticized Rick Ross a while back. he stuck up for him. He said, y'all really don't have a problem. I'm looking for the message. I want y'all to see. He's like, y'all don't really have a problem with these people, man. Y'all don't care nothing about us performing or these rappers performing. Y'all ain't serious. And people aren't. People aren't. They really aren't. It's funny. It's really funny. It's hilarious to me. But Soldier Boy said, you know, they called me. Kamala didn't call me, right? Barack didn't call me. In other words, the Democrats could have put me on the bill. How you know I wouldn't have performed for them? Don't get mad. Are you mad at the rap? Are you mad at the content? Are you mad at the destructive nature of the lyrics? Or are you just pissed because your team lost? Because it's seeming like you just pissed because your team lost. And if that's the case, hey, get over it. Get over it. Get over it. I can't find it. Last but not least, Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes, yes, Dr. Martin Luther the King. I'm gonna show y'all something. I was talking about this today earlier. It's gonna be the last thing I talk about. And then I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I saw something on Twitter that was it was disheartening. It was very disheartening. It was a tweet. Twitter is a peculiar place, you know. It was a tweet. Yeah, it was a tweet about Martin Luther King. And I remember what it said. It said Martin Luther Cream. It said Martin Luther Cream was cheating and fucking white women. Fuck him. And people were responding with the same amount of vitriol, right? People had the same amount of negativity for Dr. King. And I said, that's unfortunate because what you have effectively done is thrown the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm looking for it now. If I can find it, I'm looking for it. You've thrown the baby out with the bathwater. And so, you know what? I put it on my page. Hold on. Here we go. So somebody put this Martin Luther. I'm not gonna show it. I'm just gonna read it. Martin Luther King was cheating on his wife with white women. Fuck him. Somebody said he did a lot worse things. Somebody said black women always got to find an issue. They said, hell yeah. My respect for him. Crazy to me how because he fucked white women, somehow took away from everything he did to help his own people. Then the black community cries about how black men don't love them. don't take up for their community, post disrespectful as fuck, and you would never hear a white person say this. So now, that's crazy. On the day that we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King, people have such vitriol for him. That's crazy. And the person said it best. You know, that's a sickness that we have in society. That's a sickness in human beings, right? That's that devilish, that's uncivilized thinking. No one's perfect at all. And oftentimes, our leaders are those people that we hold up in leadership roles. They're no more than people who are imperfect, who have the courage to step in and put forth an effort for something greater than themselves. And that's who Dr. King was. And I'm going to tell you something. This is a brother who grew up not really agreeing with Dr. King's philosophy. Mm-mm. But I can never deny the great sacrifices that he made for black people, the great effort that he put forth for black people, right? You can't deny that. You can never deny that. And, for those boys and girls, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen out there, I read this earlier. Dr. King turned a corner. He didn't die. They didn't kill him because of the dream that he had. They killed him because of the reality that he was waking up to, and he was starting to change and go in a different direction. I read this earlier out of a book. This is the FBI Files. It's a great book. Malcolm X, the FBI Files, by, I want to say, Claiborne Carson. Yeah. It says this. This is in the beginning, right? Malcolm in the American State. For maximum effectiveness of the counterintelligence program and to prevent wasted effort, long-range goals are being set. I read this earlier. One, to prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. In unity there is strength, a truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective condition of black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real Mao in America, the beginning of a true black revolution. If you look up the Kenyan revolutionary group, the Mau Maus, you'll understand what this is the FBI speaking. You'll understand what they were talking about and what they meant by a Mao. They meant a guerrilla revolutionary group inside of the black inner city that could absolutely overturn the establishment that we know as, or that people now call as, the white establishment, the capitalist structure, right? The racist structure. Number two, to prevent the rise of a messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X might have been such a messiah. He is the martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. King could be a very real contender for this position should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines, i.e., nonviolence, and embrace black nationalism. This was written by the FBI on March 4th, 1968. Yeah, that's the FBI Files. Well, I'm going to play something. I'm going to let Dr. King talk to you, right? I'm going to let Dr. King talk to you real quick. Because he absolutely stepped away from those white liberal doctrines. And I want you to hear what he had to say. I would like for you to hear what he had to say. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the people who came and stayed. And I appreciate you guys who just came just to show support. And I appreciate everybody that's out there watching this thing in rerun. Make sure you post it out, send it out. If you enjoy anything you've heard, if you enjoy any of this information, right? Make sure you send this out, because that's how we That's how we proselytize this message and get it out there. This is Dr. King talking about economics.
I guess I could use some of this time to get into pleasantries and to talk about the many experiences I've had with you, not only here, but in Europe and other places. What do you have in store for us this summer?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know about the summer. I guess I should begin with what we have in store for the spring. I feel that we are in the midst of a most critical period in our nation, and the economic problem is probably the most serious problem confronting the Negro community. And I might say the most serious problem confronting poor people generally. And I don't want to be narrow about this, talking only about the black poor in our country, because I must be concerned about Puerto Ricans who are poor, Mexican Americans, American Indians, and Appalachian whites. And we are confronting a major depression in the poor community. And I think the time has come to bring to bear the power of the direct action, the nonviolent direct action movement on the basic economic conditions that we face all over the country. Nonviolence has been a tremendous force in grappling with the social problem of legal segregation and the syndrome of deprivation surrounding that system. And of course, it has been a major force in grappling with the political problem of the denial of the right to vote. But in winning victories like the Civil Rights Bill of '64 and the Voting Rights Bill of 1965 around the issue of segregation and voting rights, we discovered that these legislative strides did very little to improve the lot of the millions of Negroes in the ghettos of the North and in the nation generally. In other words, it did very little to penetrate the lower depths of Negro deprivation in communities all over.
He said that it was good, but it didn't do a whole bunch of good for lower rung or lower class. And I'm saying that he didn't say that black people, right? And he quoted that the economic problem is the most serious problem, right? And that is exactly what they were saying. The FBI concluded when King comes off of the nonviolence, when he moves away from that, he could be a real contender. Well, you just heard where he was turning a corner, moving away from that very philosophy and perspective. And so this made him a threat that had to be terminated. I say that because there will be millions and millions of people to watch this back. And what I want to say to those people is this: when you're learning about Dr. King, when you are teaching your family and your community about Dr. King, look deeper than I Have a Dream, right? Look deeper than those commercial and mainstream examples of who Dr. King was. Read Parting the Waters, watch documentary clips, right? Uh, I forget my man's name. His last name is Branch, but he has a good series on Dr. King that really illuminates and emphasizes Dr. King's full life, not just that which fits into the capitalist structure, right? Because Dr. King let it be known what's going to take America down the hill is militarism, right? The military being an armed wing of racism, of white supremacy, right? Of world domination, materialism, right? Or poverty, right? And racism, right? And people quote this often. They often say, Dr. King, he realized that he had brought his people into a burning building. What he was signifying was, I think that, you know, what I had been marching on, what I had been protesting for, it might have all been naught because what good? He said this: what good is trying to force your way onto a white counter if you can't afford a sandwich? Yeah, it's no good. It's no good at all. And so when people now would try and desecrate Dr. King's legacy, they throw all of these things away. They throw the entirety of his life down the drain. And we should not do that. Whether or not we agree with a person's perspective, their philosophy, or their paradigm or not, we have to recognize the good deeds, right? And their paramount efforts that would only contribute and help the advancement of our people. That's what we do being civilized people. That's how we conduct ourselves. And so yeah, I wanted to say that on the day that we commemorate his birth, because his birthday is January the 15th. But I want to say I have respect for Dr. King. I respect what he was able to accomplish. And more so than anything, I respect the tremendous courage that he had to put himself in the conditions that he had to put himself in so that we would not have to bear that, right? Right? He sacrificed, as in the Christian world, the Jesus or the Christ sacrificed, right? He put himself right in the line of the stones, right in the line of the rocks, so that the masses could now benefit from his pain, his trouble. And he wasn't the only one. He's just one of the more recognizable, one of the more, if you will, exploited by the mainstream. So listen, I appreciate you guys, man. I know I've held you guys kind of long. Thank you so much. Again, man, if y'all was just going over to lead with logic, the number 7.com, lead with logic, number 7.com, and check out what we have. I think you will enjoy. I know you will. And look, may we all meet again in the light of understanding. May you guys have a most peaceful, productive, and positive rest of your Monday, rest of your week. Stay warm, y'all. Nate, I appreciate you, brother. Peace and love.